Greetings, dear ones. Who are we? We are a voice that comes from God, from the source of all that is. Never take this for granted. Use your discernment wisely. Check in. Is what I am receiving of that vibration, of that purest love, the unconditional love? Does it serve the highest good? To take in, to receive, and to respond to what I am hearing, to who is knocking at my door and wishing to enter. Take a deep breath. Drop into the stillness of your being as you allow these words to sink deeper and deeper. Give respect to the land that your feet are placed upon, to your ancestors, to those who have gone before you since the beginning of time. What does the name Lemuria stir in your being? Is there a resonance? If you are being called to hear this, I can only assume that there is something in that name that feels familiar. Lemuria is not a space or time. It is vibration. It is here and now. Lemuria was an example of what it was to live in that vibration. The vibration of Christ consciousness. The embodiment of God on this earth plane. There was a purity to that race, to that time. And we, the Counsel of Light, are speaking now to call you home. We were the home makers, the home dwellers on this earth. We did not venture into the curiosities of earthly life. That was not our mission or purpose in being here. We were simply here to anchor and hold the highest possible frequency on this planet as a remembrance For many souls come on this earth, and they journey far and wide, and in that journey they lose touch and forget who they are, where they have come from, the essence of their being. And it is our purpose to ring that bell as a reminder and as a homecoming for those who are ready to hear it. With each passing day on this earth, the need for that bell to ring grows more insistent. It is no longer possible to venture far and wide. That time, that experiment has come to an end. The home, the call towards home is growing larger and larger by the day. And we, the Counsel of Light, have been here for eons, and we take great delight when a soul hears that bell and begins to remember. What is it like to walk on this earth, deep in connection with home, with God? The idea at times feels hard to imagine, to really grasp the possibilities of that. Within the flux and impermanence of this world. With a self that is curious and engaged and entangled and enmeshed and attached to the world it has created. Feels too far beyond its reach to begin to cut those cords, disentangle itself, and turn slowly towards home. Take a deep breath in. In the stillness it is here. It has always been here. And it is we in Lemuria who first learned to connect and harness with it. But our time on this earth came to an end. as a prominent force because of our certain rigidity with that. We almost took it for granted. That purity. And we were so focused and so intent on that purity that we did not see what was creeping up behind and around us. Gaps began to appear in the fabric. And as you look at the development of a child, you shall see the same thing happening. In the beginning, that purity is there. But as they enter that phase of toddlerhood, you can notice those gaps in the fabric appearing, the self emerging, the desire to turn away from God and into this world is activated and set into motion. The emergence of self-expression and independence. Who am I, separate to God? And that question, that curiosity, can remain for some time. And that is natural. An inevitable chain of events set into motion with what we call the Atlantean age that superseded the Lemurian vibration. A new race, a new experiment began on this earth. The rise and now its fall. The cycle is coming to its completion. That toddler has reached its point of exhaustion. Its busy mind, its active wanderings, naturally, inevitably, reach their own stopping point. What we say is nothing new. There is great change taking place on this planet. Structures are falling apart. The self is falling apart. For the self is a mirror to what is on the outside. And as we see much crumbling around us, what is truly crumbling is our idea, our curious idea of what it is to be like, what it is like to be separate from God, what it is like to live on this earth from a point of separation, from a point of division. Time has come to move beyond to the next phase. Time of integration, of unification. Now there have been many utopian visions of what our life on this earth could be like if we moved forth into a deeper relationship with God. How do our days look? How do our relationships look? Where do work and money and all of those things that have been created from that separated self, what of that remains on this homecoming journey? Our mission and purpose for being here, what does that look like? That is all still rather unknown. Feels too overwhelming at times to even contemplate it. But what we can say, in all honesty, is that there has to be the elimination of fear in this world. What would it take for there to be no fear? Take a deep breath in. The ending of fear comes when one has cut all attachment. When one has no addictions. When one has broken free of the forces that are seeking to control a race, using their tactics of fear on this planet. Whether you are simply going along with that reality or else fighting against it, true freedom only comes when you disengage from it altogether and turn towards the mystery. Do not fight for reforms of a fear-instigated world. That is not the utopian reality we are moving towards. Fighting fire with fire. So that must be the beginning point in any transformation, any awakening, is an examination of one's relationship with fear. Where does that show up in my reality? But you ask, I know. When there is immediate danger, is fear not a natural response? I would like to use another term to distinguish between that very swift moment in the presence of danger, which is more a feeling of alarm than a feeling of fear. Fear that I speak of is more a controlling, ongoing, manipulative vibration, seductive. It is okay to be alarmed, and it is okay to be afraid, in fear. It's part of the human journey. It's a vibration that exists when we explore this realm of separation. And we have to be willing to give up that if we wish to return home. That is our message today. On this we shall return to, if you wish to maintain the contact with this timeless teaching from the Counsel of Light.